Good morning. It is cold this morning. It got way colder last night than yet out here for sure. It was the first night that I had to actually get into my, hood and my mummy bag and get my head all covered up and cinched up and stuff. It was really cold, and you can see I have my warmer gear on now. In fact, I had my beanie on until just a minute ago. I thought, before I got started, I thought I probably don't need this. I'll warm up fast enough. But anyway, it was a good night. It was very cold, and I was awake a decent amount, but I got really good rest for a long time and slept a bunch too, so hopefully that'll translate into a good day. I think that's about it. It's unfortunate that the pond, cabin wasn't open and all the kind of traditional stuff that goes on there. There's a tradition that the caretaker makes pancakes in the morning, and of course the canoe out there, and all that stuff. But yeah, whatever. I got to sleep, and I'm ready to roll this morning. And my oatmeal wasn't as good as pancakes, but it'll do. And I'm interested to see, I've got a big climb first thing this morning, and then miles and miles, like 15 miles of what looks to be just really flat terrain. So it'd be interesting to see if that's, flat terrain like Pennsylvania, which means you go 1 mile an hour because you're stepping over and on boulders constantly, or whether it's really fast and I can get some extra miles in today. So I'll keep you posted on that. Whew, all right. Well, that was certainly not easy, but not as bad as I expected. I thought it was going to be 1.5 miles of just sort of straight up, and there were quite a few breaks in there and things. So anyway, I'm going to take it easy for a little bit here, recover. This is Finnerty Pond, and it is beautiful. Tell you what, ponds here are big. Where I come from, a pond is like a little tiny thing. This is a lake. Anyway, it's gorgeous and quiet. I'd like to be out on there in a canoe right now, or a kayak. I'm cruising along fine this morning, but I'm pretty tired. My head is really congested today. I've got a sinus headache thing going on, and not breathing ultra well, which I thought I was kind of past. But anyway, but I really am doing fine. I'm just, my dreams of kind of like getting a long night's sleep, waking up like Superman, and doing 26 miles today. That seems questionable. So we'll just see. I don't really know what that means, because there aren't that many camping options. So I definitely don't want to stop short and only do 16 or 17. But I'll just go about my day, see how I'm feeling. As I get to the last shelter, I'll kind of just evaluate. Of all the states so far, Massachusetts has been the one, just about the only one actually, where the water sources are not consistent with, the guide. And I think, it has a lot more to do with the land than it does the guide. Earlier in Massachusetts, the guide would say there were 5 streams coming up, and you'd get up there and there'd just be this, this wetlands all over the place, just swampy stuff, nothing running, brown, smelly water, like all around. And, I think what happened is just things changed. In the guide, and I haven't seen this in the other states, at least not very much if it's mentioned. In the guide, all over through the guide in Massachusetts, it says, water sources can change and dry up, so don't count on water being there, and don't carry, just the minimum amount to make it to the next source, because it might not be there. So I think they must know things change quite a lot here. And on the flip side, this last, I don't know, this morning anyway, this last 6 miles or 8 miles or something, there have been water sources everywhere that are not in the guide. I mean, beautiful streams running through with awesome clear water, like lots of flow. And, it might mention in the guide 1 stream in 3 miles, and there's, there are 8. So I'm assuming, probably things just changed and over the course of a year. And, the results are a little different than what they were last year. So anyway, beware if you're coming through Massachusetts. Don't count on the water sources. All right, I made it to October Mountain Shelter, and it's only just a few feet off the trail, so thought I'd check it out. Maybe have a seat. Oh, it's a nice one with bunks and stuff too. So I don't think I videoed the last one where I said I stayed a couple nights ago, but it looked virtually just like this. Had a picnic table out front the same, and 4 bunks, and so really nice. There's even a little privy over there, back in there. So anyway, all right, I'm just gonna take my pack off and lay down for 5 minutes, and get hammering again. Just walking along right here, and oh, there's a deer. Hang on. Anyway, man, what they've done here, some logging. But anyway, right before I saw that deer, right before, just walking along, and all of a sudden this bird, pretty sizable bird, makes a whole bunch of noise, fluttering, kind of sounded like a, wild turkey taking off or something. And it comes straight for me. And this will show my ignorance, but it acted like a quail, but much bigger than a quail. Almost looked sort of like a guinea fowl or something. I don't know what it was. It was like a light brownish color. Maybe had some white spots on it or something. Anyway, it just came straight at me, then veered off and just sat right there. As I got closer to it, it took off again, but it didn't go very far, just a few feet. So I don't know if it was injured or if it was trying to protect, something, it's young or whatever, but it scared the living daylights out of me. Just met some old guys on the trail, a whole bunch of them, probably, 15 guys, something like that. And, quite a bit older than me for sure. Quite a bit older. And they were moving slow and going over some rocks over a creek anyway, and they let me by. But they were fun. They were giving me a hard time, each other a hard time. I asked them why they didn't invite me to the party, and they said I wasn't old enough. And then the one guy said, "Hey, let this young guy go ahead. That way he falls over, we can walk across on his back. So I had to yell at him a little bit. So anyway, nice guys. And yeah, they're just doing a little section out here for the day, and that's awesome. I mean, there's a huge group of them, so you know, they can really support each other, and just fun to see. Oh, and about 2 minutes before I ran across them, I twisted my ankle good. I mean, I've rolled, you know, when you're out here hiking, you're gonna roll your ankle from time to time, but I'm pretty good at kind of just going with it. So, you know, if I hit something wrong, just kind of let my body sort of buckle and move with it, and, you know, it doesn't really do any damage. Man, this one just flat went all the way sideways and took me right down to the ground, which hasn't happened yet. I guess it's not bad for almost 400 miles. But yeah, I got back up. I thought, oh, let's see how this feels, but it feels fine, so I'm sure it'll be sore tomorrow, but you know, doesn't appear there's anything really wrong. Just part of the problem is I'm tired, and I'm kind of on autopilot a little bit today, especially with the relatively easy terrain. So I'm kind of just getting spacey and sort of just going with the flow, and I need to stay engaged so I don't hurt myself. So stay engaged. Got it. All right, so Crystal Mountain campsite's where I'm headed for tonight, 10.3 miles away. And that would put me somewhere around like 25 miles for the day, which is a lot, but you know, like I've already said, the terrain hasn't been bad. I think I can do it. And here's the good thing. I can't remember if I said this or not, but here in about 6.5 miles, so I guess 21, I don't know, anyway, that'd put me somewhere around, I've done like 13, 14 miles today. Anyway, here in about 6.5 miles, the AT walks right through the town of Dalton, Massachusetts. And Dalton has a little hotel that I gave a very quick thought about staying at. Mostly just because there's nowhere to stay in between these two campsites, you know, like I have like a few miles up here, 4 miles up here I can stay, or I can go all the way the 25 miles, you know, total to get to the campsite I'm going to stay at. So anyway, also, since I'm almost out of battery, I thought it'd be great to be able to charge up my batteries, but the cheapest hotel room is like $90 plus tax, and you know, that's just crazy. I don't need to pay that just to go in and charge my phone and, you know, not hike a little further. So anyway, whatever, I'm not going to do that. But what I am going to do for sure is get something to eat in Dalton. I should be to Dalton somewhere around like 3 o'clock maybe. Be perfect timing. Well, anytime would be perfect timing. And I'm not sure what all is there, but I know there's a place called Annabelle's Subs that I'm planning on getting a sub sandwich at, because it's just right there without having to even walk into town. So I'll do that, and that's probably it. You know, there's some other stores there, but I probably won't get anything. I'll probably just do that, and then, you know, it'll be a nice break. I can probably plug my phone in and get a little bit of a charge while I'm eating in there, you know, even if it's just 20% or something. And then once I leave town, or once I leave, you know, yeah, anyway, town, then I'll have 4 miles to hike to that campsite. And there's a pretty good uphill, but, you know, I will have rested and I'll have some food in me, and I think I can just take it slow and struggle along and be just fine. So that's my plan. 10.3 miles to the campsite. getting close. Had a nice hard uphill climb and now a longer downhill on the way into Dalton. So I'm thinking within 30 or 45 minutes I should be eating a sandwich in town. I hope. And then I just had to figure out how the heck I'm gonna hike another 5 miles to my campsite. Oh my goodness. I might just sleep in someone's garbage can or something. We'll see what happens. Well, the house right behind me there is owned by a guy named Tom. And I'm just walking into town. I see Tom there, and he's got a bunch of hiking poles stuck around this planter in his front yard. And I said, I like your decor. And he said, yeah, I let hikers tent here and stuff. And anyway, a big long conversation ensued. Bottom line is, I am not hiking an extra 5 miles tonight. I am staying in Tom's backyard. And Tom does not charge anything. He's got water and snacks and drinks and all sorts of stuff, but I'll give him some money, you know, donate to him later. Anyway, so I'm going up to get some food. I'm going to charge everything up 100% because he's got a charging station there. And then that's where I'll be staying tonight. Oh, trail provides. Alright, Annabelle's was absolutely delicious. I got a little left over. My eyes were bigger than my stomach. And now I'm going back. There's a place called Sweet Peas that I passed on the way here. It's an ice cream shop. And I'm allergic to dairy, so I never get ice cream on the trail. This is the first ice cream place. I stuck my head in the door as I was going by. This is the first ice cream place on the whole trail so far, 1,500 plus miles. It has non-dairy, has some sorbet, so I'm going back to get some of that.